for a sanatorium. That means a TB hospital was rejected by the British. They didn't want to fund such a sanatorium. They didn't want to build a sanatorium. And it was only after the Second World War that Tan Tock Seng Hospital became a sanatorium for a short while. And after the Second World War, you have a very strong policy against TB. First started by the British, and then which the Singapore government then continued in the 60s. Sources that you can use. So the book that I wrote with Liang is published by Routledge. So if you can, please get a copy for your library. The Simpson report is extremely useful, very, very interesting. It also talks about, besides TB, other diseases. Report of the sanitary condition of Singapore. There are various annual reports you can find from the Municipal Commission and the Straits Settlements, the colonial government. Medical journals are always very interesting. The doctors are not just talking about the disease, but they're also talking about people with the disease, which leads into the area of social science and humanities. Newspaper articles, of course. So some examples here. It was very hard for me to find early sources on TB in Singapore, but one of the few that I found was advertisement for Keating's cough lozenges. That was a remedy for disorders of the pulmonary organs and incipient consumption. Consumption is the old name for tuberculosis. Right, so it was sold in Singapore. So this is a dispatch from the Colonial Office, the Secretary of State for the Colonies, to Singapore, to the Governor of Singapore, with regard to the pauper asylums and pauperism in the Straits Settlement. So this is, I mean, I didn't show the rest, but this is when they were finally, eventually, in around 1870s, begin to expand and repair and upgrade the hospitals for the paupers into proper hospitals, but not tuberculosis. Right. So this is from the Colonial Archives. In the medical reports, you have got some useful diagrams and charts, pie charts like this, which show this number of deaths from diseases 1931 in Straits Settlements. Yeah. Okay, and then this is from a very interesting quote from Lim Boon Keng. I think many of you have heard of him, about what tuberculosis was. Phthisis, another name for tuberculosis. The Chinese consider phthisis to be a disease caused by living germs, which leave the patient in swarms as soon as death supervenes in order to seek pastures new in the shape of other human beings. The people, therefore, dread very much approaching persons dying from phthisis. They have a suspicion that these germs have a predilection for omelette, and that they will fly away if direct sunlight is thrown into the house by making an opening on the roof. Sounds like a vampire or something. Consequently, it's the custom to place a broad piece of omelette on the face of the dead and to make an opening in the roof as soon as a phthistical person dies. So he wrote this actually in the journal, some of the things there. But this is very interesting. I mean, whether it's true or not, that's another thing, but the perspectives of local people, their own beliefs about disease for tuberculosis, but also for other diseases. And when you have your own beliefs, like the omelette here, you have your own cures, you have your own treatment, and you therefore do not want to seek treatment in the hospital, which you think is a place that people go to die. Right? So it's also a way to understand why Asian people were unwilling to go to hospitals for a long time.